Yeah.
Hitting go live now. We're back.
Greetings, pesky humans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Human.
Yeah.
Human filth.
Human. Yes. Stuart Foley. Stuart
Name.
Stuart Foley. Greetings.
Captain Foley.
Some do say. Some do say.
That's the rumor.
Those that haven't have already been wiped out, so the you know,
Yeah.
sample size it's more applicable every time, you know. But hey.
The universe is finding its balance.
But don't say he's an admiral. He doesn't like that. Nope. That's a different person. And she'll break your legs if you don't acknowledge her rank. So it's you know, easy just to commit to the bit and, you know, move forward. Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. It is time for new Trekyards. We're doing top 10 today of Starfleet First Officers. See? The camera's being glitchy.
It did just then, yes. Yes, the first officers, the men, women, and aliens that helped do all the hard work, one could say. Let the captains just look good in the meantime.
One could say that, yes.
And you only sort of realise how much they do when you actually, like, pay attention sometimes. You know, Patrick Stewart saying, go to warp! And it's like, right, go to warp, and it's like, he said. Why is there two orders here? Why is this a rank structure that revolves around dual ordering? But it's a thing! Yes.
That's not fits in it.
Did you do many unplugs and replugs and...
Yeah. Can I call you back?
Sure.
Okay, I'll leave you with these fine folks. They're nice people. Trust me.
Yes, I trust you.
Okay, good.
I trust you not. Unless he doesn't come back, in which case, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, what do you guys all think? There he is. Oh, 30-something. Yes! Join in later.
Well, I hope that works. We'll see.
On that note, I'll start sharing. You talk to the wonderful, fine folk over there.
I will. All right, well, we got a super chat. That is awesome. Thank you so much to 30-something man-child. Much appreciated. You got the first super chat strike of the day, so we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hit that like button, guys. Don't forget to join the channel. Well, subscribe, obviously. Click the notification bell icon and get notified every time we upload by clicking that bell icon. So anyway, yes, super chats are a great way to support the channel and get your voice heard. We do read everyone on air, so if you want to be part of the conversation and get your 2 cents in, by all means, consider doing so. We would really appreciate that. And yeah. Other than that, you know the routine, guys. Check out the links down below. You can send a PayPal to trekyards@hotmail.com. Just let us know that you sent the PayPal, and we will check it via our email from PayPal and read your comment or question that way as well. Lots of great ways to get your voice heard here on the channel. We really appreciate you guys and want to hear from you. So if you can, please do. Also, consider joining the channel. There's different ranks you can join at, different monthly subscription rates. Same with Patreon. You can go to Patreon/Trekyards and help us out that way as well. And it's all very appreciated. So whatever you can do is great. Even just hitting that like button, as I said, let's get up to 50 likes right away. We're already at 20, so that's the first goal generally. So, all right, so let's hit 50. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and yeah, let's get this show on the road, as it were. Also, share the video around. Anybody that you think might like Trekyards. I met a lot of people recently that are into Star Trek, and of course, I've been spreading the Trekyards word. So, yeah. All right. Anyway, but yeah, I might just waiting for Samuel now. Oh, also the TeePublic store. If you want to order anything for guaranteed Christmas delivery from TeePublic, is you have to order before the 9th, which is in 2 days. So if you want anything for Christmas, or if you know anybody on your Christmas list that might want a Trekyards shirt or whatever, go check it out and make sure you order before the 9th to get it available before Christmas or delivered to you before Christmas. But yeah, lots of cool things there as well to check out and show your Trekyards love. So lots of great ways to support us, and just let us know that you love us, because you know you do. Okay, let's see. Oh, Samuel's back. Look at that. Woo. And my camera has not been glitchy, so that's good.
Good news.
30-something man-child puts in 2 pounds. I can't watch whole stream now. We'll catch up. All right. Well, we just started, so it won't take long to catch up. But live long and prosper as well, sir. Eric Martin, $5. Commander Shelby, hands down. LOL. Ooh, didn't even consider her.
The problem is she doesn't do much first officering in Best of Both Worlds Part 2, because at that point they said, we're not going to keep her, so we're not going to give her any screen time. And she's not second in command in the first part. So that's like, what does she do, you know? Oh. Met the lady, though. She was nice. I think and also I made her day, but I had a really good chat with her, and she really liked the print I made, and that was really nice.
David Moon just ordered my shirt for Christmas. That's awesome. Yeah, like I was just saying, guys, if you're just getting here, if you want your shirts or anything from TeePublic's delivered by Christmas Day, you need to order by the 9th and no later. So you got 2 more days to do that. So if you know anybody that wants a Trekyard shirt for Christmas, now's the time to order it.
And I definitely wore some over the weekend at Marie's, and super comfortable, like really proper quality shirt. It's nice. It's like, yes, I just go, you know.
Did you wear the Trekyards underwear too?
I was told not to. She didn't want to see my face underneath my face. Your face was on the butt, so I mean she wouldn't see that face unless I turned around. But I was all never turned around, so it doesn't really work really well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Moving on then to Eugene's
That's in the secret.
comments.
So if you're left, right, AB on the site, then you get the exclusive range. Yeah, that's how that works. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eugene is here, and he put in a super chat of 2,000 rubles. Thank you so much.
Epic, as you know.
He says, well, in my honest opinion, T'Pol was most developed as a character and as first officer specifically out of all of them, and she's generally wonderful character. So I'll claim without a hint of a doubt, she's number one.
I could see an argument there. That would definitely be a bar and have a drink sort of argument, because you need to talk about that sort of thing.
Which is what we're here for.
Yes.
Taylor T puts in $5. There's so many great choices to make for first officer. There is, and this was interesting because I pulled out a few, and the ordering wasn't that difficult actually. I might second guess some things upon going through it, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I was going to ask how
you.
Yeah, I was going to ask how you found this one, because we do so many of these that it's a good touchstone to which one's actually difficult. Yeah, I found this one harder than I thought. I kind of pitched it as this will be a fun, easy one. I was like, huh. When I actually looked at the list. But I found I've got a reason for everybody. Yeah. Well, yeah, that does help. But it's not like, whereas favorite phaser or favorite ship, it's a very distinct, like, this is my favorite. I've got a rationale for why I think they're better, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to agree with it. It doesn't necessarily mean it make, they got the most screen time, whatever. So I'm caveating that. This is just my pure, I logicked it in my own brain. But it's not like my favourites. It's not, it's not that linking. It's who do I think is the best. Unless you did your favourite without any sort of clinical, who was the best.
No, I thought who's the best.
Okay.
And...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I think some people might be upset with some of the
things
on my list, but I really don't care because it's my list. Anyway.
But I just
as long as you can justify it and explain it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I've got a reason for everyone. I was I'm gonna think about this for a second. And I did say to you very early on, one-offs are absolutely fine because there's only so many, obviously, primaries for a reason. So everyone else, absolutely fair games for whatever reason. And honestly, a one-off can be a regular if they show a certain something that's secret sauce. So, yeah. But I definitely, Piff says Castillo from Enterprise C. Well, he wasn't first officer. He was just a guy, and then everyone died, and then he became first officer, I believe. But I guess that's the technicality of, he did serve as that for a bit. I think I went for all official first officers. I think maybe.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
We'll see.
Also, memory alpha was my friend because my recollection wasn't always my friend here. Yeah. Now, do we have a poll we can throw out? That's fun and silly. Oh, okay. I've gone.
Okay, he's got one.
Oh. There we go.
Wow. Are we going first? Am I going to let my first officer go first for this one, or should I go first because you went first last time?
Yeah, so you go first.
I'll go first, okay.
But I just want to, super chat, poll, and then we'll start.
Okay. Taylor T throws in $10.
Oof.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's so many great series regulars that play first officers. DePaul and Spock handled humans, but someone like Shelby had what it took to help save us from the Borg. All in all, a great topic.
Although, is Save from the Borg a little bit exaggerative? Her thing didn't work. I mean, I guess because Picard saw it, but it's her thing didn't work, and then she didn't have any other things. Just not dismissing her, but...
Ooh, should a first officer be more loyal or talented? Oh,
I thought it was a good question.
We'll vote on the poll. I like that.
Because that's the question, isn't it? What makes a good officer, first officer? Do you want somebody to... And this is just a conversation for you before we get started. Someone who's always going to have your back, even if it's the wrong thing to do, theoretically, kind of Equinox-ish. Or someone who's going to challenge you and be a pain in the arse, but will help keep you straight and narrow. Who will be a pain in the arse and maybe too far sometimes.
I want somebody that kind of challenges me a bit. I don't want just a yes man, because that's not how that command structure is supposed to work. There's supposed to be somebody that kind of makes up for your deficiencies somewhat, and can argue with you. But that's one of the good things about being captain, is you can say, no, I've taken everybody's advice into consideration, but I still get to make the decisions whether you agree with it or not. So, yeah.
And Donnie says, why no both option? Because that would just be the best officer. That's the point. It's an either or. If you had to pick one, if it was both, you want them to be both. But it's if you had to pick one, it's a hard choice. That's why it's a question. You need hard questions sometimes in life, and I think it's a really good question. So please throw in the votes, guys.
Go vote. Go vote. All right. Let's get into it.
Okie dokie.
Number 10. My number 10 for number 1 is number 1, Una. Pike's first officer. We haven't seen her in Strange New Worlds yet, so we can't really use that as any kind of... Oh, we have. A little bit in Discovery, but...
we saw her in the Strange New Worlds prequel, Discovery.
Yeah. I mean, it's great seeing a woman as first officer. I mean, we have some more on the list probably, But the thing is, this was the first one. She is awesome, and I am looking forward to seeing her in Strange New Worlds. What I saw in Discovery, I liked, but a little too. We didn't get too much, honestly, to see, but a little bit too hard ass maybe at times. A little bit. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. That's why she's number 10. I wasn't really sure, where to put her in here, but she needed to be on the list. So she's at number 10. So there you go.
The quintessential number 1, as that was her name for a while. NMBER 0NE. Number 1, Taylor Smith. Number 1 is her first name. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, what we see in Cage is a good officer. What we see in Strange Worlds, in Discovery is a good officer. It kind of works. And
I'm sure we'll get a lot more filled in with Strange New Worlds, obviously. So.
Yeah, I mean, considering she's in theory one of the biggest stars of that show. Although she's a secondary actress, which is absolutely fine. Most people are, or tertiary. She's been in lots of things, just not necessarily the hero, but people recognise her. Not necessarily what for, just lots of things. But yeah.
And Mr. Jericho says she just made the list, like barely made it. I mean, yes, there are other first officers in Star Trek a lot.
Well, that's the thing.
We didn't see her. She hasn't much screen time.
I was about to say, how many minutes does she have? I mean, you can count her in minutes. Honestly.
Yeah. We don't consider the books. We haven't read all the books, so we don't know all of. And it's beta canon, so.
Well, if you consider that, then I'm sure Riker's now non-canon first officer on the Titan is the best. Because of all the Destiny novels. Or Ezri's first officer is like, okay, who are they? I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I've already forgotten my list, so I'm excited.
She was my first list option, right? So she's number 1. So it makes sense. It all works together. So. Read Sebastian's super chat first.
Hi. Good to see.
Oh, we got 2 more actually. Eric Martin, $5. Didn't get to meet them, but whoever was first officer to Captain Jellicoe would get a hazardous duty award for sure. Not necessarily. Just because somebody's a hard ass to new people doesn't mean that you don't have a good relationship with them, or be able to, deal with them better. So.
Well, that was certainly implied. He was, he felt massive pressure in that situation, and then when he lets his guard down, he's much, much softer. He just was in very specific work mode. It's like, do you think the drill sergeants in the army are dickheads the whole time? No, just on the field where they got to be dickheads, and they go home and they yell at their wife.
Yeah, he had pictures of his kid up behind him in his ready room, like, so sure you got a soft side to him. But Sebastian, aka Space Daddy, throws in €5 and says, define loyal. Loyal to a person, example commander, or principles, example Starfleet code. I would say loyal to the captain. I think that's what he meant by the poll option that he put. Just like, I'll back you up regardless of what decision you make, and not so.
Because the poll sort of presupposes both are loyal to Starfleet, otherwise. Don't be in Starfleet. But I do want you guys do vote on that poll. I really would like to know the. Obviously, there's a resounding victory so far, but do keep throwing votes in because we have had ones that swap. So do absolutely vote. Okay, number 10. I like it. My number 10, Stuart, is, and I limited my list a little bit because I just wanted to, stick with 10. Is. I'll wait for you to see it on the live. My number 10 on the list, the least best first officer on my list is, of course, seeing how long the delay is on the live stream to our talking as we're forced to watch.
Still waiting.
Boy,
still waiting. There it is. Oh my God, Burnham.
Michael Burnham. Because she mutinied and shot her captain or neck pinched. So she's my least good in this. Cause she was real bad. Yeah. Don't think she was very good. I mean, she had a fondness with her captain, but she felt like she argued with her all the time and wanted to be right over Georgia all the time, and
Yeah.
was mean to her officers for some reason. So just
Makes you wonder how she got to the position, you know?
Well, she was pretty much given it by Sarek. Nepotism. You know, and then she earned her way up in the Shinjo, but I don't know. Probably that I want to, you know, I see the daughter a new vibe, as is often the case. But, you know, number 10, there ain't that many first officers. I'm trying to stick with mostly mains. And she was first officer, and she was real bad, because she got a captain killed, mutinied, her ship destroyed, a fleet destroyed, war started as first officer, and became a criminal, and the only leader in Starfleet. So, terrible first officer.
And for all those reasons, she's not even on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's a terrible first officer.
Yes, that's why she's number 10, the worst.
Spoilers, she's not even on my list. So there you go.
Well, yes. I don't know, I just
But,
I want to make it clear with the, you know, that's the bar we're starting with, which is bad.
Well, compared to my number 10, it's like, that's night and day, though. Like,
Yes.
number 1 was good, you know? So, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Patrick James, $5. I am late, so I apologize, but DS9 and Enterprise did not have first officers, which to my military mind is abnormal. If I am wrong, please correct me. Not in the official title for a while, like T'Pol wasn't part of Starfleet, but she was still the first officer, and same with Kira, just because they were dealing with different military or different organizational factions like the Vulcans and the Bajorans. They weren't members of Starfleet, therefore, yes, not technically classed as first officers, commanders. However, they were, because they were like the liaison, and they were second in command when the captain took off. So,
Well, they acted the role officially in the command structure. T'Pol was higher rank than Trip and all the people under Archer, and so was Kira, and so was Worf for the Defiant officially, even though you didn't really get a sense of that in the show. So they still count as the first officer role, just not formal first officer rankings, but they are in the context of the command structure, so it's fine. Do you want any Shane's comments?
Where is it? Shane. Oh, Shane Ackery.
Yes.
Of course, Burnham is your number 10. More Burnham hate. You know Spock committed mutiny and stole the Enterprise to save Pike. Wow. Burnham hate.
Did you watch episode 1 and 2? I mean, yeah, he stole a ship, like stole. I mean, so did Data, although I guess he was taken over. Burnham did a bit more in her first episode.
Pointing a phaser at her captain. Spock never did that. Data never did that.
No, it's a little bit different. And how many people did Burnham get killed in that battle?
Yeah,
so
it's a lot different, actually.
Yeah. But thanks for being trying to remember, though. Don't hate Burnham. She's got a lot better. Just she was awfully written, and
yeah,
we all know that.
Yeah.
Your number 9, then.
My number 9 is, and again, I kind of do what you do now. I do it early in the day, and then I don't look at it for the rest of the day. So, my number 9 is Kira. Now, she did officially become Starfleet's commander near the end. That's why I got this picture here, because, you know,
she was like the official liaison to to Cardassia in the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of Kira. That being said, on later rewatches of DS9, she's definitely grown on me, and I appreciate her a lot more. There's a lot more to her than I initially thought when I first started watching. But still, the fact that she's not like, I don't know. I mean, this one's a tough one. This could have been higher on my list, and I knew this was going to be a tough debate when it came to this one. But she's loyal enough to the station. She wants to work with Starfleet at the beginning, but not really. But she does. So, I mean, she does her job well. But honestly, I'm not the hugest fan of her. And it takes her a while to kind of get that good status for me. She's not, like, initially good. So, I don't know. That's why she's number 9. She's still on the list, obviously, but I don't know. Just not the biggest fan of the character. Sorry. So that's one of the main reasons.
Yeah, no, I get it. Although, I think the fact that she has 1 billion times more screen time than number one, like, just that very fact by itself, means you can't put her lower than number one. That's the thing. She's way more than a first officer. She's way more than a second in command DS9. She's this big, broad character, and that is like one of the least important things about her. Like, it almost isn't a part of her character, almost.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they're on the bottom of the list. I don't know. I'm sure they'll be on your list higher, and we'll talk about it then. But
maybe.
Well, Patrick James, before we get into your number 9, Patrick James puts in $10, so thank you so much. Thank you for that viewpoint. Still messes with my mind, and Michael Burnham would always be my last choice for any command position. If there were 100 Star Trek shows, she would rank at number 100. There you go.
But I'd take the character from season 4. Yeah.
All right, so you're number 9. So.
Yes, let's see what I said. The survey says, yes, I'm going to say Saru as number 9. Because he is first officer for a bit. He is first officer, Lorca, and Pike, right?
Yes.
So he's loyal, yes. He's a bit gullible, though, because, doesn't sense the Lorca death man with his special vision sense, which you would think would be important, but never does. He gets lost underneath Pike's leadership. I can't remember any decisions he made specifically in the Pike reign, because Pike was so overpowering. And then he became captain. So, while nice enough as an officer, he doesn't show any particular skill or bonus that makes him special. Just, he did fine, and he was better as captain, I guess, but because the story made him captain. But, he was nice to Pike, and Pike liked him, and that's a benefit. But, I mean, hey, he didn't show any particular skills, and very plain as a first officer.
One thing he's good at is giving advice and listening. It's much like a Troy Guinan kind of analog. And that's very helpful for somebody that's trying to make a decision. Like, we've seen it a lot in season 4 as well. His advice to everybody. He's basically being a counselor to everybody. Even the counselor, who's Dr. Colbert.
Who counsels the counselor, yeah.
Yeah. Though, like, that's really important in that role as a first officer, is to have somebody that you can, as a captain, talk to about things, get the logical side of the discussion, and also the emotional side, and then also the, taking care of the captain side. Like, there's a lot of advice that Saru gives that is very helpful in making decisions, I feel. So I think that's why he's a good first officer. He's not quite the craving that captain's chair, which is another thing too. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of things with Saru that I think work very well for a first officer role. So.
But you just mentioned the stuff he's doing in season 4, which is not first officer anymore, and he's now moved past that. So I'm trying to think what he'd do with Pike. He had a few good things, but nothing stands out. Where lots of Kira, lots of whatever stand out. It was just fine. He didn't even do much science, I remember, after he became first officer either. So he kind of took over the role and didn't do anything with it particularly. That's the thing. That all stems from they didn't know what to do with him because they undid the character from season 1. So what can you do with it's just a nature of what do you do with this guy?
Well, going back to your poll, he's extremely loyal.
Yes.
And talented, because he did, come get the Federation or get the Starfleet's attention. Much, even though his planet was very primitive. So talented in some ways, which we never really find out exactly what his skill set is necessarily, but also very, very loyal and definitely dedicated to Starfleet and the principles. So
that's true. He's talented in cobbling technology, has no idea how it works, into a beacon, which didn't really make sense. So he's in theory a genius, although never really uses that genius particularly. But one man's genius is another man's not so genius. Yeah, it's just a weird one. But yes, very loyal. I could have, like I said, should have sensed Lorca's evil intent. Never did. Damn those ganglia, they suck.
Either that or Lorca's just really awesome.
Well, I think when it's space magic that just works, oh no, this. Remember, he sensed when Michael Burnham warped away, like across 50 8,000 kilometers, he sensed a danger. It's like that, and he couldn't sense Lorca. It's like, space.
Yeah.
Space sci-fi. But yeah, so like I say, just number 9, better than Burnham, obviously, but that's more because of lack of bad things.
Okay. Number 9. All right, so we're going on to number 8 now, I believe. My number 8. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah.
Got a surprise, which I like.
Uh-huh.
Even though he was first officer for like 4 seconds, George Kirk in the 2009 movie, he definitely put everything on the line and did what needed to be done in the situation, which I think most Starfleet officers would do. However, I think that before the captain left the bridge, he did say that, did he say something about him being number 1 or just that you're in charge? I can't recall.
Yeah, you have the bridge.
Yeah, but it's not really a first officer role, and I think a lot of people are going to be pissed that he's above Kira at number 1. But I don't care. When I was making the list, he just fit this position for me, and to sacrifice yourself and your kids being born, and I don't know. I think he would have made a hell of a first officer to survive long enough.
Well, he would have. He did at some point.
Yeah.
It's just that universe he died. So.
Yeah. So that's why he's number 8. And this was one of the unexpected ones I wanted on my list. Because, anyway, yeah, not really a first officer, but still, with the way he handled the situation and did everything he needed to do to put his life on the line was fantastic. So.
No, and I definitely utilize the Memory Alpha list as a like, okay, who are the ones we can't remember, and him popping up.
Matthew DeFrieda says, "You're captain now, Mr. Kirk," is what he says. All right, so
there you go. Yeah,
I guess he was a captain, not a first officer. Anyway,
well, shorthand for acting captain. Yeah, no, so he's definitely on my consideration list because you can't, actions speak louder than words. He did do the ultimate sacrifice, and that makes him, by very nature, a better officer than everyone here because none of them died for the cause. And he did save his entire crew. Don't know why the Narad didn't go after them, but they didn't. Sublight shuttles, but that's a different story. But yeah, he did save the entire crew. He and talking to his wife, I don't know what's harsher, to say goodbye to your wife and kid before you die or as you're dying. It's like, what's worse? I don't know.
Yeah.
And it should have been in the film more, and it would have been good to have seen a proper Star Trek 4 with him back, although not as butch as Thor, because he does not look like Thor. He looks like a normal guy, and so to be as ripped with that sort of muscly hair and facial hair wouldn't quite work for a James Kirk. I'm a good Star Trek. No, it's not. But yeah, it served his duty very well.
Area 51 says, "I assume he was the first officer, seeing as the captain left him in charge." He wasn't, though. You can tell by the rank stripes on his arms that he wasn't a commander. I believe he's a lieutenant. So
yeah, it's tricky.
I think they actually say Lieutenant Kirk or something, and I think the captain says something to that effect as well. I'm not 100% sure. It was Asgardian after all. Well, yeah.
And also, you said he was a captain for about 3 minutes. He came for 12 minutes, Stuart.
True.
Yeah. No, Lieutenant Commander. And no, he was first officer. According to this. He was Lieutenant Commander and full first officer.
Wow. There you go then.
Yeah.
Ha! I don't have to justify it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Paul Thomas, 5 pounds. Saru had to Google how to be an effective leader. I would hope he'd have known that anyway before being promoted, Deck. So, wow. Oh yes, and that was quite an impressive list. Captain Philippa Giorgio, Robert April, Captain Christopher Pike, and what was the other one?
Some random guy we didn't know.
Yeah. It's a bullshit list, for the record. Paul Thomas puts in 5 pounds again and says, that same phenomenon, a lightning storm in space, also occurred on the day of my birth. Well, his dad was Thor.
That's good. That's good.
It is good.
That's good.
That is good. This is before Thor, just for the record.
But not much before Thor. He probably filmed it around, right before he got the role. And let's Jericho. Never understood the scene. Shouldn't Kirk's mother be an Iowa at this time? Well, remember, the timeline got changed before this as well. Like, this isn't a direct rip point. Look at their uniforms, their technology, the cinder blocks in their engineering room, the size of the ship, the cinder blocks in engineering, the pipes, the cinder blocks in engineering, the crumbling cinder blocks in engineering.
And the water dripping down those very same cinder blocks.
So it was never a divergence in the timeline. It made an entirely new time from before and after. So everything was different. Yeah, that's what Simon Pegg said. You know, he wrote Star Trek 3, his Star Trek 3. So you know that's what he was going for when he wrote Star Trek 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did consider him because you know he did leave an impression. It does help. It's the best scene in the movie.
He left an impression, all right, on the veranda. His face, like a bug on a windshield.
Oh, that's cold. Like the vacuum of space after everyone died.
Yeah, after the front view screen shatters.
Yeah. No, it wasn't view screen. It was 5 windows.
Yeah.
My number 8. Let's find out together. Is my number one placement. Yes, I put my number 1 over Burnham and Saru. I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. I won't argue with you. I mean, just how it sat with me at the time.
Yeah, no, because she, in her middle appearance, she is a strong, capable leader in her own right in the cage. She stands out on the screen as just being a very capable person. Stands out more than all the other officers because she's running like everyone else, as in like just a character, not a woman, just a character. And then in Stranger Worlds, she's likes burgers. I think that was a scene she had.
Mm-hmm.
She's there, you know. Let's not give too much props for what they gave her. That's their choice, not the whatever's. But clearly, you know, to become the Kelvin's just a random crap ship, right? It's a nothing ship, you know. A cinder blocks sold. Whereas you know she's the second in command of one of the primary 12 ships, so she got a massive level of prestige there with that. And if she was actually acting in the station as well, and she was actually serving as navigator. Was that navigator or was that tactical Zulu?
That's navigator on that side.
Yeah, so it's also a very important role as well. So she's a talented officer in a talented ship doing a talented role. Like that's like clearly skillful in every way you can be skillful. And you know, no one questioned her when she took over for Pike, and you know, it would have been nice to have seen her more. It would have been kind of cool to have seen her. I mean, this is, back to the 60s. It would have been kind of cool to see her reappear in the series as a that hairstyle, which looks different to Chapel, who obviously wears much more bright makeup, much different hair. Have her reappear as number 1 on a different episode and be like, oh look, number 1. Although obviously people hadn't seen the pilot because the pilot wasn't released, so obviously no one would have got that. But retcon it back, write an episode, have it back in. Would have been kind of fun to see how she would have been back. Yeah.
Unless Jericho says that explains that Franklin, the ship doesn't make sense in the Prime Universe. Exactly. Yes.
Yes.
And actually, did I say that was tactical or she was at?
Which is at Sulu Station.
Well, which is helm. The other side's tactical.
Mm-hmm. You said helm.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I thought I said tactical because I'm thinking about it going, did I say tactical? Because that's wrong. Okay.
And
good.
Paul says, I think even Pike said in the cage, number 1 is the most experienced officer. Yes. I mean, she feels it. She has more than Spock in many ways. She obviously... I don't know if she feels younger or older than Spock. I guess a little bit older. But Spock's age is kind of hard to pinpoint. She's like, middle-aged. I don't know. But she kind of has that extra experience that he doesn't feel like he has. Well, mostly because he grins at a plant in that third scene. Which is, Anyway, there you go. So I think absolutely got her. Should beat all the other ones, which is what you said as well, but, that's my justification, Stuart.
Perfectly fine. Area 51, $5. Fun fact. Not sure if you were aware, but there were cinder blocks in the engineering spaces of some Starfleet vessels. Was each cinder block named after a jazz musician?
No, after a famous bricklayer of the 21st century. Bob, Thomas, Loretta, Jameson, Frankie.
Brian.
Full of himself, yeah.
Well, there you go. All right. So we're up to number 7.
Yes.
My number 7 is Ransom from Lower Decks. because I'm really liking Ransom. He is kind of an idiot sometimes, but then he will surprise you. Even I really like the episode where he explains to Mariner when they're in the jail, and he says to Mariner, like, "No, it's my responsibility to keep you guys safe," and stabs her in the foot so that she doesn't do anything stupid. I don't know. He's just awesome. He doesn't even sound like Jerry O'Connell.
No,
honestly.
He doesn't.
But I like Ransom. I just like Ransom. And that one episode was definitely the highlight for him. But then you get little moments also where he's like, he sent the cadet to talk to Boimler to build up Boimler's confidence and things like that. Like, you get these little hints of being a good first officer. Even though at one point he says, I'll say yes, I'll agree to anything you say. Because remember, they were going to bring in a new...
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, how about the favourite moment of his, where you really liked him as officer, where he grabs that firm, hard rod and moves it up and down, forward and back, and just, really controls the momentum of the scene with that rod. I think you really... That scene really grabbed you and shifted you in the right direction towards liking him and appreciating his assets while he worked that command rod.
Took me a second to realize what the hell you're talking about, but yes, he definitely saved the day with the manual steering of the Cerritos. But yeah, I mean, he definitely shines through in moments. So they do make him kind of foolish, but it's equaled out by his good moments. And well-rounded character. I think Ransom's awesome. I'd like to see him as a captain at some point. So
yeah, surprisingly good balance considering.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Eric Martin, $2. How about the dog from Picard? Very loyal. Yes, number one. Literally.
Honorable mention. Well, he had zero part in the story, but that's good.
Yeah, I thought he'd have a bigger part in the story with the way
we both did.
Up, but yeah.
And now the dog in the nope, dog not in the show. It's all good. Okay, good stuff. I like it. My number 7.
Yes.
Is the guy's name. I always forget his name because it's not a name I know really. His name is Lieutenant Duquesne. Yes. The relativity first officer.
You almost made my list.
Because I saw this and I was like, ooh, actually. Because now he's not. Again, I'm going by memory alpha here. It lists him on that list, so I will take that and run with it. Because in my mind, this guy showed extremely good leadership. In that, he was doing all of the jobs the captain didn't want to do. Because, he had to have a part in the episode for everyone to like him. So he was doing almost all of the scenes. And then, without any hesitation, he puts his own captain, who's presumably known for some years, into time prison. In a very matter-of-fact way, for the duty of the future, and then keeps captaining as an acting captain, doesn't skip a beat. Comes across as a very, very clean, well-standing Starfleet officer, and you just gotta like the guy and his professionalism, and you want this sort of guy being a time cop, because he puts the timeline and no space-time murder above everything else, and he stands out in the episode, and so I'm actually gonna give him over. There was my last one, number 1, because he has more scenes than her, give or take. Like he has more meaningful scenes anyway, and he just comes across as a really good officer. Makes a hard choice. So yeah, gets on my list just by having one episode.
I said he was almost on my list. I was wrong. He is on my list. Shit.
Did the timeline change? Is that how it happened?
Yep, it just happened now, actually.
Oh my god. Emmigade.
But yeah, I mean, I'll talk about him soon. But yes,
I noticed
good first officer, in my opinion.
Taylor T, we can hope. The actor's in it, but we can hope.
Yeah, we hope it's the same character, because that'd be awesome.
Unless they do it poorly, then leave him alone.
Which, this is Picard, so Picard. Track record-wise.
Yeah, maybe we gotta shoot him. It's like, Duquesne! God damn. But yeah, instantly stood out to me as a good officer. But Stuart, I think we should end the polls. We do another one. Should a first officer be more loyal or talented? And a smash victory here. 37% say loyal, 63% say talented. And I would call that, like I say, a smash victory for one or the other. How do you feel about that?
No, I think that's great, actually. It's good to have somebody in your toolbox as a captain that can do multiple things. And I think some of the first officers that I have higher on my list definitely fill that role. So, yeah, I would agree. Loyalty is also good, but loyalty can be a detriment at times. We've seen that many times throughout the course of Star Trek, like Equinox, for example.
Although arguably he was helping to save his crew, otherwise they would have all been killed. So it's like.
But going against Starfleet ideals.
Yeah, but he was trying to save his friends, which is they do all the time.
Your captain, I know.
I mean, Janeway killed the entire timeline.
Oh yeah. I usually say hashtag Janeway did nothing wrong, but that's an argument there.
Oh god, no, Stuart, because she did what she did, the Picard timeline happened.
Oh Christ!
So she killed Icheb by not letting him live the Delta, which is actually true. God damn it! And she couldn't have foreseen that coming. Holy shit!
Okay.
But yeah, I just want to. Yeah, I thought there was. And I've got another poll which I'll throw out as well. But yeah, I'm happy though because I appreciate the.
You heard it here first, folks. Sam was going to throw his poll out there. Is it the same one that Ransom was handling?
Mine has more scope to be touched by more people.
Yours is British.
Well, that's true.
The sun never sets on the Samuel poll, as you would say.
Unless I press end poll. There's a button.
There is.
I could
make another poll.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. And we'll get into my first 6. So guys, keep the super chats coming. They are going well. So keep it up. We want to hear from you for sure. We're at 48 likes. We need another 2 likes to get to 50, and that's definitely doable. But I think 75 is, I'm going to set my sights on that one as the next goal. So if you guys can do so, we would really appreciate that. But yeah. Anyway. So we're almost at the halfway mark for our lists as well as the episodes. So that's good as well. We're going to go into number 6 here in a second. He chose Riker because he wouldn't allow his captain on away missions. Who did what? Picard chose Riker because he was loyal to his captain. Picard was the reason we got the Picard timeline. I finished Coda. I keep hearing about Coda. I think I need to read these at some point. Dan Ben, Coda books have been advertised. Yes. Patrick Stewart did say in an interview once that Picard's show was set in a different timeline. Samuel. Are you done your poll yet? Samuel. I can't rely on my first officer. Oh, well. What an ass clown. Might have to bump him down on my list now. He's the best first officer. Anyway, loyal to the ship and the mission, yes. Code is a fantastic crossover. I went with the audiobooks. I think I will do the same. Sounds good. I keep hearing good things about it, so I'm excited to see how it goes.
Okay, so the next poll is a little bit tricky to word. That's why it took a little bit of time. So should a good first officer speak his piece, or follow the captain's lead more often than not? So that's more of a, in general, trust the captain, or, most situations say, no, Patrick, Picard, John Luke, I don't agree with that, because you can't do both.
It's a weird question though, because
is
he gonna do that in front of his command staff in the briefing room or in the ready room?
But would you expect to see Riker come in every other week and say, John Luke, I don't agree with that? He doesn't really much.
Yes.
When it's important, but doesn't much. So it's not a personal interpretation. Like, again, 51% of the time, should he trust and just go with the captain or put his own thoughts forward? I'm just interested, Should his own because he's not the captain for a reason, but he's a captain in training in theory. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tricky.
Yes. Yeah. There we go. I agree. All right, let's get into number 6 here. My number 6 is Saru. Is that even the same?
Oh my! It is Memory Alpha for the win. Interesting. Give me the pitch, Stuart. Give me the pitch.
Well, I already did with your Saru. That's more season 4, so I'm kind of. I didn't go back and rewatch seasons 1 and 2. I don't know. I just he's a calming presence on the bridge, which I think is also a good thing. To relieve the tension in a stressful situation. And I think that's also important, instead of somebody that's uptight and like Kira, who more often than not would make me more worried about what the hell's going on just because of her reaction to it. I need somebody that's more of a calming influence on me as opposed to getting me uptight and agitated. So that also plays into Saru, in my opinion. But yeah, generally just the way he handles people, the way he deals with situations, the way he looks at things from a different perspective. It's all very helpful to have that as a sounding board when you're a captain than somebody that just agrees with everything you say or has the same thoughts as you. So, yeah, there you go. I said all the rest earlier, but you are right. That's generally what we're seeing in season 4, where he's a captain, but he's chosen not to captain right now. He's just kind of hanging out. He's kind of acting like a first officer or a sounding board at this point, anyway. So,
well, like you said, Guinan. That's a good That's a good allegory. And given the extra humanness of him, that fits quite well. Because I just think if you put him up against Lorca or Pike, he's not going to be able to change their mind, really. They're such strong personalities.
Pike, I would disagree. I think with Pike he would, for sure. And did.
I think not most times, though. Maybe the occasional, but you put Riker against Picard, and he's a very strong...
Well, there's that... You don't want antagonistic stuff going on the bridge all the time. You need somebody that can see that you're the captain for a reason, you've got more experience, whatever, you're making a decision. You don't want always the headbutting with every decision, because as a captain, that would get not only infuriating, but also kind of... I don't even know how to say it. Wouldn't be afraid to give orders, per se, but if everything you do is questioned, that's why Michael Burnham's not on my list. Because as a first officer, she's just awful. From the get-go, when we see her, she's arguing with the captain about the decisions that are being made, and that's not how a first officer should be, especially on the bridge, in front of the crew. Those are things, if you have a beef like that, you take it up in the ready room. So,
or in the case of 31st Century, just beam somewhere else. Yeah.
So I think Saru handles things properly, gives the right amount of encouragement on the bridge, and also has those moments where you can talk to him alone and kind of get a different viewpoint. So yeah.
So fair to say he's more of a there's a great adage of the chaotic neutral, the positive neutral, the chaotic. Yeah. He's like the neutral force. He doesn't put too much forward himself, but he helps to balance the chaos of other things.
Lawful neutral, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, 100%. But he's not he's on that medium tier, which obviously medium of your list.
Yeah. Yeah. I think also he makes a good captain too.
And he probably would have served better to be the first officer in season 3 as well. I don't know if they could have made Michael captain in season 3, but he should have probably stayed first officer the entire time. Then that way of whatevering would have worked better, potentially. Could have grown that side of him. Because I never felt like he wanted captain ever. Like, he's not there to command, he's there to do science and talk to people. I mean, neither were Geordie, and he was a captain on the Challenger for some reason.
For some reason.
For some reason. Do you know why, Stuart? Do you know why? Because he directed the episode, so he was there.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, which is a fantastic reason to have him there. It's like, hey, a free cameo because he's already on set. The costumes fit him. Shove him in that corner behind a set that we have, and boom, Capital Forge.
Yeah. All right. So we're moving on to 5. We're at the halfway mark.
What do you guys think of our list so far? So check your thoughts, comments, questions, and vote in the poll. Please and thank you.
Hit like.
Well, let's find out what my number 6 is.
Oh, that's right. We're going to your number 6. Sorry.
The mystery is killing me. My number 6 is Kira Nerys. So my 7-season regular is just above my 1-episode guest star. So my logic for this, in why not have her higher, I would never put her lower, but my logic was, she's a very competent officer, but as I said previously, she's not there to be a second in command almost ever. She will always put the priorities of her own species and planet forward. That's her real job there. She's a liaison. And so she butts heads with Sisko to fight the case for her people's stuff, which is a fine thing if they're sort of both captains or if they're both whatever. But a second in command job is not necessarily for that. And T'Pol is somewhat the same, but far differently balanced, because obviously the context of the situation. So Kira is a great first officer she supports Sisko, and she does. But so many times she does not support him. She tramples all over him. She breaks his rules. She moves away. She actively goes against him. She does things that he wouldn't approve of. Which aren't great first officer traits. But when she is supportive, when she's on the Defiant and Dominion War, she's kicking all the butt. She's really working with him. She's loyal to Sisko up until the point she has her own motivations, and then she fucks off. But that's most of the time, and you would think almost they'd go the zealot role with her, in that if he's also I know she's not fully sold on him being a living prophet, whatever what was his phraseology? What was he?
Yeah,
emissary. Yeah, emissary. But she doesn't believe in that necessarily. If she did, she might have been overall loyal to him in every situation, but that might have been less interesting. So I give her higher props because she showed a lot of really great leadership, but so many times she went against what a good first officer would do. So yeah, but I can't, a regular, I don't think I could give much lower. So yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's my logic there.
Yeah. Her personal beef with the Cardassians definitely came into play quite a bit, including her resistance ties, either out of loyalty or just stubbornness, and it was detrimental to her position as a first officer. So yeah, I should have said that as well for why she was so low on my list. But
yeah, I mean, it's hard to go. It's hard to go from full-blown terrorist, to supportive first officer, follow chain of command. It's real difficult, and she doesn't quite manage that as you would imagine. Can't blame her for it, but she will support Bajor over Sisko if she needs to. So yeah.
Yes. That's her job on the station.
That is a job on the station, exactly.
Literally, yeah.
But she got 500 more situations to show good leadership as well than the other people. So there you go.
Cool. Good choice.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're on to number 5. We're at the halfway mark of the live as well, so that works out very nicely. My number 5 is Willard Deckard.
Emmigade.
And his name is Willard. It's not William. Yeah, he was a captain, but then became the first officer for that mission. And despite the hard feelings, the thinking that Kirk was just kind of doing whatever he needed to do to get back in the captain's seat, not really agreeing with the situation, he went, again, above and beyond, doubled as science officer for a while as well. Like, he definitely did what was required of him. And as such, I think he was probably a newly minted captain as well. So he would have been just coming off a first officer role anyway. But he got right back into it. He didn't really hold a grudge. He did what he was told. And again, that kind of ultimate sacrifice for the crew and for Earth, again, speaks volumes, even though it's kind of a greedy decision as well. So it could be with Ilea, kind of, I guess. I don't know. But overall, I think Deckard was a good first officer and would have made an awesome captain. So, yeah, there you go. Quick summation of Deckard.
That's super interesting. Another sort of technicality, but this one needs those. Let's be very blunt. No, yeah, and I love that logic. But if he was, it's tricky. He was given command of the Enterprise, which says top freaking tier officer. He's the captain they picked after Kirk, who is now at this point the most legendary captain out there.
And Kirk picked him, I think.
I don't remember. Yeah, I guess they were friends.
I think Kirk was responsible for that. Yeah.
Yeah, but also all he did as captain, to no fault of his own, was just refit the Enterprise and keep it in dry dock. So he hadn't actually done any captaining yet. So his captaining was just the quartermaster in a sense for a while. No shade on him, just he doesn't actually get to captaining very much, and so we can't necessarily judge that. But yeah, I love that. He came from being first officer. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, he does. He's definitely the bigger man. he takes the ship.
You can tell because this uniform's so tight. You can tell who's.
Oh my god. What's the name again? Sorry. The Deckard bulge. Yeah. The Deckard D.
Willard Decker.
The double decker. Yeah. But yeah, I like that. The fact that he takes he loses the rank. Although yes, he hasn't had very long. Does everything the guy says. I mean,
he's still a captain. He's acting first officer.
Well, it's a temporary demotion. They do say that.
Yes, they do.
But it's like, yeah, but I'm still a captain, though. You're just making me demotion for this role, but I'm still a captain, surely, because that would be really harsh if I was a commander on Thursday. Captain! It's Wednesday. Fuck. Next week. It's like, damn it, Jim! I'm a captain, not a commander!
Your captaincy comes in on Tuesday.
And then away on Thursday. But no, yeah, he does it. He does the role, acts the bigger man. It would have been nice if him be more commanding, but also the fact that, and this speaks to our other nominees, I'm sure, he actively is not afraid. I mean, it will involve their death, so fair enough. But he does actually stop, undo Kirk's order to save the crew and ship, and doesn't hesitate. That's important. Your captain's going to get us killed, so I'm taking charge.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that phaser reprimand order was a big deal as well. It's a brave move, but
he's justified though because he will kill the crew. But yeah, no, I can see why. Yeah, and just the fact he took it is unusual. Most officers wouldn't be as kind with that. Yeah, it's interesting. But it would have been great to have seen like an alternate universe with him be a captain for a day. See him actually do some real captaining.
That's a what if. That's another idea for Trekyards what if discussion.
Yeah. I like it.
Alright, guys. 58 likes. Let's get up to 75 likes.
Yeah.
Hit that like button, guys. Keep the super chats coming. We got 54 votes on the poll. If we get some more votes, would be awesome on that as well. But yeah, help us out in any way you can. We appreciate it.
At least $50, guys, before we end is needed. So if you can, please do. All right, my number 5 then. My middle of the road. Let's see what I said. I said T'Pol. And I'm not zooming in on there on purpose. I'm just trying to crop in. Right, T'Pol. Yes. So similar to Nerys in that great and loyal she needs to be, but also is there to service her own people as well, which does come into play.
Yeah.
The journey of the character is such that early on the role is very much of it wasn't on purpose, it was just the center point. It's very much of a advisor, a helper, etc. But then by the end, she is really loyal, and the evolution of the character is one of the more interesting things of Enterprise, as Eugene said earlier. And by the end, she is super loyal to the crew. She picks the crew over her own people. And it just shows how valued and valuable she is, and she feels that she will. And you absolutely get the sense. I don't know if Deckard would in the same context, but it's not really his crew at this point. Like his Bay knows them, but this woman would absolutely take a phaser blast for most of the crew, like the main crew. If she would jump in front of a phaser for them. I don't know if Deckard would do that in front of Sulu, but he doesn't know him yet, so it's not a fair comparison. But she would. I think Kira would too, but Kira might like to shoot the shooter, you know, which is fine. Just T'Pol seems like she's logically selfless in a lot of situations, and she's also not afraid to tell Archer, "You're done up." You know, she will go for bat, but also she's, you know, classically Vulcan stubborn, and she will not admit when she's wrong a lot of the time, because she's not always wrong from the certain point of view. So yeah, it's pretty. But I do think she shows some really good leadership, and the fact that she gets so supportive by the end, that's got to clinch it for you. Those last 2 seasons, you know, like how just like, and she's such like a, like, you know, the entire team respects her. Like,
and she's got a nice bum. I mean, those aren't my words.
People do respect that about her.
Those are Reed's words.
Yes, very much so. They are her, I mean, they're very much his words. I'm not quantifying the statement. But I feel like by the end, and this is purely subjective and see what you think, I feel like the crew is potentially more loyal to T'Pol by the end of Enterprise than some of the secondaries are loyal to Kira by the end of DS9. I don't know why I think that. That's what my gut says. What do you think? I'm not sure what I mean by the secondaries versus the secondaries in Enterprise.
Say it again. I'm trying to figure out what you said.
I feel like the secondaries, so Hoshi and Travis, are more loyal to T'Pol at the end of their 4 years with her than the secondaries in DS9 are to Kira. Maybe Garrick, that's a hard example. There aren't, you know, secondaries and primaries are so difficult, but I feel like they're more loyal to T'Pol, maybe. Whereas Kira sort of is their own thing, and they won't always side with her, but T'Pol, they will side with her, they will support her. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to... That's just my gut feeling there.
Don't know if I agree with that.
Fair enough. I don't know.
Trying to figure out why you say that, but I can't.
I just feel like they're all more... just more loyal as officers to her. They'll follow her to the end of the earth more than Kira, who will then take them to, you know, a Bajoran slave camp and be like, do this, and then Bashir will be like, I'd rather not. Whereas Hoshi be like, of course, T'Pol, I'd help you.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about it. Something about it. Just, I feel like. Well, I think the reason is because for 4 years they are stuck in a box together as a family learning. Whereas in DS9, there's so many things going on around them that Kira doesn't interact with X, Y, or Z very much. Why would she? That's not her storyline. Whereas T'Pol interacts with everybody on the crew a lot, all the time, 7 days a week for 4 years.
Smaller ship.
Much smaller.
The humans are new to space, so yeah, of course.
So I too long a point we talked about. That's just a vibe I got.
Patrick James throws in a $50 super chat in answer to your request, Samuel. So thank you so much, Patrick. It would be interesting to see how the UK and USA navies define the relationship or role of a CO and his or her XO. I wonder who Nelson's number ones were, or even John Paul Jones. John Paul Jones doesn't ring a bell for me.
Me either, but I'm not into real life history.
Yeah, naval stuff, sorry.
John Paul Jones is a singer. So I don't think that's right. No, the first thing up is an English musician, but also a Scottish-American naval captain who's under the United States first.
There you go.
1781.
Sorry, I don't know enough about it to really talk about that, but yeah, I'm not sure how the structures are in different.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
Navies and stuff. So.
Yeah, what is the? I mean, each one is so different to the. Each show's second in command is so different to every other show's second in command, so it'd be hard to give them all to, you know, a naval officer and say which one's most faithful, etc. Because they're all so different.
Captain Ron Phillips throws in $5. Saru, the best character on Disco, and has more of a prime Giorgio characteristics than Burnham. You can see it with his interactions with Tilly. Yes. Yeah, as a mentor, as a, you know, that kind of figure, he does a really good job with, you know, the underlings.
John Paul Jones, the father of the U.S. Navy. Gosh.
Wow.
Well, I'm not into the Navy or America's Navy, so...
Yeah. if it doesn't have a
statue in Trafalgar Square, like
I was gonna say, no,
Trafalgar.
if it's not, for me, if it's not a floating runway with F-14s on it, I don't know much about it. So.
Or you
Anyway.
know, in a Sherlock Holmes novel, because that shit's on the lock with you. Every naval officer in Sherlock Holmes, I'm sure you could rattle off in seconds.
No. All right. Moving on to, we're going to my number 4 now. Boom. My number 4 is T'Pol.
Boom, chicka. There we go.
Yeah, she really wasn't my favorite character at all when I first watched Enterprise. But again, it's one of those things you go back and rewatch it a few times, and she's really well acted, actually. And you can see a progression in the character quite a bit. A little bit of a hard ass at first, kind of being the Vulcan, you know, but then
doing her job.
Yes. Well, she always does her job to both Archer and the Vulcans, even in season 1. And that's a fine line to ride, and she does it very well. That didn't came across wrong the way I said that. But anyway, yeah, but she turned out to be a really great first officer. She even though she didn't agree with Archer, she knew that he was in command, and would oftentimes argue with the rest of the crew because he had given an order. And even though they thought they should maybe do something different, she was very stuck to her guns and trusted him. And I love the will they won't she, or will they won't they kind of thing for the first season or two, and that kind of went away. But there was like that Archer and her. Was there going to be something going on with those two? And very, very good character, very well developed, I think, and yeah, definitely changed by the end of the season or the end of the show.
Massively.
And very well handled, I think. So it also sounded too dirty. Anyway, number 4. And if you would have said that a few years ago that I'd have T'Pol at number 4 on this list, I would have told you were crazy. Her and Kira would have been like the very bottom, but anyway, here we are.
And I don't know if there's a very literal translation between Kira chooses Bajor more often in terms of the split than Federation, whereas weirdly enough, T'Pol chooses Starfleet. I'm not going to say Earth, but Starfleet principles over Vulcan principles a lot of the time, and therefore makes her better on a Federation ship, whereas obviously if you're looking at these grander things, I mean, Kira achieves more in her career than T'Pol does, because she does a more grand scale. But if you look at First Officer, you've got to look at loyalty, its strength in that role, supporting, working out solutions, etc. So it's a again, a lot of these top 10s are varied in just how we approach them, depending on, you know, what the specific nature of the question is, which is great, because we can have the same people in lots of different top 10s and yet be the same people. I mean, yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Number 4.
See, now we're gonna get to all the classics, like all the famous ones. So it's kind of hard to. It's like, well, where will they? So who we've got Spock, we've got Riker, and we've got Chakotay left. Okay. So let's end this poll because that's 3. We can vote. We can do an audience. So we can. So I asked the question 24 minutes ago: should a good first officer speak his piece or follow the captain's lead more often than not? And in actually similar result to last time. Should speak his piece more often with 62% and 38% follows captain's lead. That's really interesting. So they will have the first officer who will put his own case forward more often than not.
This is something that should have had the other option of both. Because you can do both.
But I just which they value a bit more.
I know.
I thought, but I took it off.
But, yeah.
Okay, one more poll then. One poll. Oh, this is who thinks. Who is. Well, let's do it,
guys.
Well, I don't know if our 3's going to be the same or not. But let's do our number 3, and then I can see if we can guess the.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We don't need to poll every second of the live. So.
No, but it's fun.
82 viewers here, 64 likes, guys. I still want that 75 likes goal, please. And honestly, another $14 that would be amazing at the minimum, just to get to a nice, almost our minimum. But anyway.
But definitely 35 would be
Yeah. So if you want a super chat, leave in $5 or so to get your what your number one would be. That'd be awesome. We'd like to read them. So
we've actually got 4 left, so I was a bit preemptive on the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your number 4? That's Stuart.
My number 4 was DePaul. We're on number 4. We're going into our top 3. You wanted to do number 3 and then ask about the top 2.
I'm number 4. That's why it's a misnumber. That's why.
Yes, you're going into your number 4. Yes.
That makes more sense.
Yes.
There's also a different number of pictures for you, which obviously is a bit of a dis.
Well, you'll see why when I get there.
I'm sure I will, but that's why there's a dis number there. My number 4 is the brand new boy to the scene is Ransom from Lower Decks.
Wow. So high.
Because my logic here was that very, very loyal, obviously, to Freeman. Way more loyal than to Paul. So wins on that camp. Comes from the same perspective as Freeman, which helps because they're not butting heads as much. He's obviously a bit more of a kiss-ass, but he's been shown enough personal talent to justify his placement there. And he has multiple times, though he's not given that many scenes. He has many a time stood up to officers below and above him to justifiably say his point of view, which you need to as a first officer. It's just Freeman's quite a powerful personality, etc. But he does, he's much more of a team player than some of the other people. But he was still, if he needs to say his piece, and he really cares about his job. Kira and T'Pol both can go off and do something else. This isn't their life. This guy loves what he does, loves where he is, loves his crew, loves being a first officer, and he's happy to be first officer for a while. He's very much a proto, an alternate Riker in that way. You don't get a sense he's ready for captain or even wants to be captain. He's happy to be the guy that does a lot of the hard work. So he's if he was less stupid, but they kind of balance that weirdly in a kind of mostly works way, he'd be almost a poster child first officer and how supportive and compassionate and works with a team he is. It's just he's obviously the brunt of some jokes a few times, but like I say, he's more passionate for the job than T'Pol or Kira. So it's just like when I just broke down what his skills were, I was like, actually, yeah, he's a better first officer, I think, in the very in the blinkered first officer role. That's my argument. What do you think?
I agree with you. I mean, I've already talked about Ransom, and for the same reasons. He's a good officer when he needs to be. He can be very serious. He could be very dedicated. He can be very skillful. But because of the nature of the show, unfortunately, you see the goofier side a little bit. So, yes, he's there for Freeman for sure. And a little bit of a kiss ass, as you said, but, it is what it is. And I realize I fudged up my numbering quite a bit.
Did you?
Yeah, because my next one is supposed to be my number 4. Everything's been shifted, I guess, because I had 2 number 4s.
I said there was a numbering problem here. I could. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, your number 4 too.
My real number 4 is Chakotay.
Okay.
There you go.
Why is your number 4, Stuart? I don't understand his numbers.
Again, I really like the way he offers advice, his different viewpoints. He's very a calming presence as well. Yet, when he doesn't agree with something, he will make it known forcibly that he is, in fact, in disagreement. So, I think he's a stellar first officer. And the fact that he's got the Maquis perspective as well, plus his North American heritage, there's a lot of really great stuff that comes with him. And it's almost like the Sarduth, the advice and the counseling and the different perspectives of how people see things that helps the captain. So yeah, he's a fantastic first officer. And he is my true number 4. I guess DePaul was number 5, and you have to shift every number back because I screwed it up.
Good job, bud. Good job.
Sean O'Sullivan.
And that's why he's the captain, not the first officer, because he can make these sort of mistakes and still has his job.
I couldn't run it by my first officer because it's about first officers.
Yes, that's the reason.
Let's see. Sean O'Sullivan puts in €2. No Enterprise B XO won't be delivered until Tuesday.
That is true.
And
who was the XO on Enterprise B?
Tuvok.
Yeah.
General
good.
Cord puts in £2. Hey, good to see you. They didn't put you out to pasture yet, General Cord.
Oh, he'll fight until his last breath. And he'll burp. And that's his last breath.
Will Riker for number one. Number one. No contest. Okay, there you go. Well, I guess we're going to my number 3 now, unless you want to talk about Chakotay. I'm sure he's on your list, though. Or not, I don't know. But I don't want to script the order, so I gotta go next again.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the toilet then, while you talk to the people, because I've got my brain all in a confusion. Stuart, back in a minute. I want to see 100. I want to see 9. I want to see 85 likes when I get back. 85.
Ooh, he set 85 as your goal. I'm setting 100 because I'm your captain. He's just the first officer. He gives you the assignments, but I'm the one that, tells it how it is. So hit that like button, guys. Honestly, we need another $5 to get to the really minimum number. So if that's doable, I'm sure it is, considering going into our top 3. We'll get more super chats and stuff. But if you can, anything you can do to help out would be awesome. We do have a new member as well. It says somebody joined the channel apparently. I must have missed that, unless it was before the live even started. Let me take a look. Yeah, it's not while the live was running. So whoever just joined the channel, the one new member, or renewed their membership, or changed their tier, it didn't notify us, but it does say one new member. So thank you so much. Click that join button if you guys are interested in seeing how you can help us on a monthly basis. That'd be awesome as well. So yeah, lots of ways. Lots of ways to help us out. You skipped a super chat. Okay, who's? Saru on Disco, I read. Sean O'Sullivan's, I read. Oh, I did skip one. Ensign Ricky's. He was the very first super chatter ever. Sorry, Ensign Ricky. I'll get to that in a second. Dun, dun, dun. I'll read it now because Sando's not back and I gotta kill some time. So, Ensign Ricky throws in $2. Number 1, Michael Burnham. Number 2, Michael Burnham. Number 3, Michael Burnham, etc. LOL. This is the way. Sure. He's back. Do we have 85? Yes, we got 85 likes. You hit his goal. So you listened to your first officer in this first officer live and not your captain. I understand how it is.
Oh, we got the likes.
Hey! We did. Because they listened to you in this one, not me.
Yes.
I missed a super chat too from Ensign Ricky of $2. It said number 1, Michael Burnham. Number 2, Michael Burnham. Number 3, Michael Burnham, etc.
Oh. Maybe.
All right.
Okay, you're number 3 then, I guess. Sure.
Yes, this is actually now things are back to the way they should be.
3 in a row.
My number 3 is Duquesne.
Oh. Huh.
Because as you said, I mean, he definitely did his duty, even though he served as captain for a long time and whatever. He did the dirty work. He did what needed to be done, and he took his captain into custody because it was the timeline is more important than, I guess, individual loyalty. He didn't seem like an asshole when he did it either. He just came across as, sorry, but you're gonna mess up. You haven't yet, but she's gonna. And he definitely did what needed to be done as a first officer, and that's take command and set things to the way they should be set. So, yeah. And I want to throw this one in as a curveball because it's like, why is Duquesne so high on the list? Because he's just, we only saw him in one episode, but I'm sure if we'd followed his adventure up to here, he would have been very dutiful and very, you could just tell by the character that he does what he's supposed to do. So there you go. Really pissed people off with my number 3.
Beats up all the regulars, or beats out all the regulars. Yeah. No, obviously I agree to a certain point, but that is a strong mic drop moment. But it's. I think it also helps that he feels so personable.
Yes.
So you want to like him in his very short amount of screen time, and that's like.
Let's just fingers crossed that he gets more screen time in Picard coming up, as this character. Yes.
Yes. No. Yeah. And you can imagine. You would think the Time Cop, badge is given even more sparingly than the Federation badge. So he must be like so top tier to get to this point. And it pisses me off when I see this outfit. I'm like, I want this outfit, but it can only be made as a good quality one.
You'll get one day.
One day. It's nice to make it. Yeah, cool. Wow. Sweetness. I like it.
Well, let's get into your number 3, then we can put up a new poll for a
Yes.
What's your number 3? What's your silver place?
Yeah, gotta be Chakotay. Which I'm kind of surprised he was as high up your list. I thought you were gonna piss on him, I'll be honest.
I love Chakotay. I love Chakotay. I don't know whatever gave you that idea. I like Chakotay quite a bit.
Well, he's one of those characters everyone sort of pisses on a bit. And just
looks
down
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Okay, obviously, yes, he was not given the fleshing out he should have. But Voyager is more about story than about character. And about exploration and sci-fi, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But, and obviously you said your own piece and I'll say my own version of it. He's Starfleet first, which is unlike Kira and T'Pol. So that has a certain... He got pretty high in the ranks in that anyway. Left to join the Marquis as a freedom fighter... terrorist freedom fighter, but you don't get the sense he was ever the guy that was like heavily in the offensive category. He was more the tactician and the clever guy, the clever leader, rather than the actual guns blazing fighter character. Gets captured and in the impossible situation of being trapped with in theory 150 enemies, he says, you know what, I'm gonna do the best for my crew. And we're going to make a truce, not just that, but I'll take second in command, which is a damn good compromise, considering where they came from. I'll be second in command with all the powers that entails, and as we know, that's a lot of power. And I will do a lot of the hard work to lead this crew. And arguably, he knows the crew better than Janeway does, because he spends more time with them.
Yes,
and he in theory, could have made a mutiny easier than she could have gone against it if it was about personality, because he's knowing everybody, etc. And she trusts him. She sees the record. She knows that he obviously very quickly becomes a dutiful officer. But he supports her. He works with her. He can be trusted to do every operation the crew needs. He can pilot. He can tactical. He can engineering. We've seen him do all those things individually. He's a very well-rounded officer, more so than many. I can't necessarily think of Tuvok ever piloting, but he absolutely did pilot. I mean, obviously, emergency take the helm, but he took every job whenever he needed to. He's in medical, I believe. He's actually surprisingly well-rounded, actually, if you think about it. I never thought that before, but he is. And then he also fought against Jeremy every time he needed to, if the script allowed him to. And, not given as much time to shine, but hey, brought the power he needed to. And, the most experience, the most qualifications, the most supporting, yet the most, in theory, fiery feedback when he has to. Yeah, got number 3. And also got 7 years of them, rather than T'Pol 4. Yeah, so I would say,
yeah, I've always liked Chakotay, so I'm surprised you thought that of me. Yeah.
We don't talk about Chakotay much, you and I, but that's an annoyance I have with the general audience people. But I'm happy to hear the otherwise.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah, because I think he's cool.
Time for a new poll, guys.
Yes.
Shanna's going to put up. But we need another at least $5, as I said.
At least another 15, Stuart. Come on.
I mean, you're the boss.
But it's fair to say we have 2 left. We have unless there's a double mega super mega ultra curveball, do you have a Spock and a Riker?
There's 3 more pictures, I can tell you that.
And he's gonna bullshit something, yes. let's ask about you first, because yeah, you're next. Also, I want you to actually
10 more likes as well, guys. Come on.
and we are going to want you to actually vote on this before we say, because otherwise the reveal will be instantly. So, you know.
Well, Eugene with 500 rubles, so thank you. So you put DePaul so low. Did you put Raffi as top one as well? Just joking. No, Raffi was.
Well, she's 5 on mine. That's pretty good. Beats
You have
Kira.
Raffi on your list.
No, DePaul.
Oh.
That's 5 is pretty good. You know.
Yeah, she was what for me? Number 5, actually. She was supposed to, she was number 4, but then she got relegated to number 5 because I'm an idiot and messed up the numbering system. So, yeah.
And Raffi was his number 1 for one scene.
Oh, she was his number 1 for quite a while because JL. Don't forget the Countdown comics. Hey, JL.
Yeah, I'm not sure one scene first officer gets on this list. Even number 1 had more than one scene. Just saying, because you know, oh dear. Oh dear.
All right, so let's see. Oh, what's this poll here? What's it saying? Who is Stewart's number 1 pick, Spock or Riker?
I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys think.
Okay, well.
But you know, I want there to be more people joining in. So how's the downstairs going? How's that all going, Stuart? I want to know. Update the wonderful Trekyards audience.
It's going very well.
Mm.
I've been spending a lot of time yesterday and today getting this stuff back in the house and getting things set up and going through stuff, and it's looking really good. Got a super nice bedroom set now. Got a new mattress, which has been really great for my back. It's an expensive mattress, so yeah. So I mean, it's been going really well.
Or is it one of those things you only realized how bad the other one was when you actually got a new one?
No, I mean the one we had before was a good one, but it was also like 6 years old, so it was starting to get a little bit saggy and not having the support it used to have.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah,
it was kind of like a night and day, was it, when you got the new one? Oh, that's what a real mattress is meant to be.
Yeah, for sure. We knew we needed a new one anyway, so this just kind of kicked us in our butt to get it done sooner than later. So,
what sort of style have you gone for then in the Stuart Cave? Sort of minimalist or busy, or is it more display orientated, or what sort of vibe are you going for?
Oh, it's much nicer, nice office display type shit instead of stuff just stuck on the walls, which I had for 7 years. Because I mean, you saw it down here; it was just kind of like hectic. It's not going to be hectic anymore.
But then
it's going to be chill.
Does that mean you're going to keep a lot of the stuff in storage? Because you can't fit all the same stuff and have more space. Like there's still some stuff.
We got rid of a lot of stuff already. Like, don't worry, it'll be a lot nicer.
Well, I'm not worrying. I'm just most of the stuff was collectible.
And this stuff up here, this stuff's going to be rotated in and out, so you're going to see new stuff behind me, and you know, yeah. So it's going well. But anyway, how many people we got on this thing? It started early for a reason, so let's just 34 votes.
Oh, we still got.
Let's go into my number 2.
Still got 23 minutes to do 2 people, so we've got plenty of time. I want to get at least 40 votes.
4
guys.
people. Because you got to do yours too.
Well, yeah, we're the same people, which means we're going to say the same things roughly. Guys, 5 more votes. Come on, 40 votes. Vote. Who is Stuart's number 1 pick? Let us know. Let us know. And then it's Tuesday today, so we've got 1 more live, and then your first reaction to Discovery, which I'm excited for, because I'm sure this is more Starfleet stuff.
No, because you said this Friday you can't film.
No, this one I can. It's the next one.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I planned my whole week around that. Oh, my God.
Yeah, this is the last week I can. I mean, I've got the Fan Film Awards on Saturday 11th, but then this is the last weekend.
All right, so Thursday is my first reaction. All right, cool. I need to send an email or a message then real quick. Somebody.
Yeah, this is my last, which I'm really needing. I need a weekend before I have no weekends. Busy old time. And then, yes, then it'll be my Winter Wonderland excursion in London on the 17th. And then Christmas on the 20th. Well, EU on the 24th. But I'll still be seeing you around those same times, filming. And we might do a drunk yards in between Christmas and New Year's. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows?
Right.
But yes, 40 votes. Everyone, mostly, 3/4 say Spock was your number 1, Stuart. So reveal your number 2, which according to them is Riker.
7 more likes though to get to 100. And Patrick James, $10 just for your hard work. Thanks.
Boom. Minimum
Right,
reached.
my number 2 is Riker.
There we go.
Riker is an all-around awesome first officer. He even sticks around even after his own captaincy, for reasons he doesn't even understand. But he's very reliable, very dependable. Definitely is a hard worker and is antagonistic at sometimes. Sometimes when it comes to decisions, he doesn't always agree, but generally is very in step with what the captain is doing. So. Riker's just an all-around great first officer. Like I said, well-rounded, and his dedication to the job, like even it might have been selfish to want to be on the flagship as the prestige that had associated with it, as opposed to getting the captaincy of a lesser ship. It actually, I think, strengthened my love for the character because he was dedicated to the ship and the crew, the people the people you can rely on, a ship so skillfully, not so much. He's kind of like the everyman of like somebody says something, he's like, "What's that mean?" He's the audience analog. He gets things explained to him a lot, a little too often actually. Once you start noticing it, every now and then he'll pull out a skill or something that he has, usually womanizing.
His joystick.
Yeah. He got a little bit more to do, in the movies and stuff. But no, overall, very loyal and dedicated. That's how I would describe Riker. Not so much talented per se. You never see him under a console fixing something really. You never see him jumping on to pilot something.
I was going to say Hathaway, but Geordie fixed that.
Yeah.
He didn't fix
absolutely.
Jack. That wasn't him. Yeah.
So he's not really one of those, can just jump in and do whatever he needs to do kind of guys. So, but yeah, he's my number 2.
Okay. Cool stuff. I like it. Fair. And I forgot
Captain Ron Phillips, $5. Off topic, but I rewatched Klingon Academy and noticed that Starfleet ships had the Disco Prize, 4 huge registry lights under the bridge dome.
Which ships? That's the first question I would ask.
Yeah,
I see they
said Federation or Starfleet ships. I mean,
we just soon see some conning action in that, but I wouldn't assume it'd be the main ship. Yeah, clarify. That's interesting though.
Eugene, 250 rubles. Riker is my second choice. He could have bested Paul, but his developments stuck in a limbo from season 4 up until Star Trek Insurrection.
Well, I forgot to put my poll up for who's my number 1, so we're going to skip that because you got to go. So, my number 2 is... I'm going the opposite route. I'm going Spock as number 2, which leaves not much confusion as to our reverse number 1s. Spock number 2 because he is a talented officer. He is very much unafraid to argue his own point. But he's super friends. I think if he wasn't friends with the captain, he'd be less inclined to. I think that's probably his human side. That comfortability, he'd be more standoffish and less willing and just hold his tongue, I think, a bit more. So he benefits from that slightly more relaxed environment, which I never thought of until this moment. But he's super committed to the ship and the crew, super committed to the best action coming out, even if it means going against Kirk. Because often he can outthink Kirk a lot of the time. Most of the time he can outthink, or all of the time he can. Most of the time he can outthink Kirk because he's got a bigger mind.
Well, Kirk can beat him in chess, though.
Well, emotion Spock. We never saw a rematch in.
Oh, well, Kirk's always been able to beat Spock in chess.
Oh, do we see him play chess again in seasons 1, 2, or 3 after the first episode?
Not really, but that's one of the things that Spock likes about Kirk is the fact that he can best him in chess. So, yeah. Because Kirk is Kirk.
Because Kirk adds the emotional zazz, which Spock just can't really. But he's also, the thing about Spock is he's more his own entity than second in command. He's more a science officer than second in command. And then obviously when he becomes captain, he's more captain. So he jumps straight into the, almost first opportunity. He's a captain rather than second in command. He's on that, he's only second in command by happenstance almost. He's not that born leader per se. He's not a captain to be a captain. When he's a captain on Inside of 2, he's a teacher, not a captain. There's obviously he's literally a captain, but he's not there to captain a ship into the unknown. He's there to teach people because he's a teacher, whatever. So he falls onto the great officer, happens to get second in command side of the fence, but he's still done some amazing things in that role. So that's why he gets my number 2 in this lineup.
Very, very good. I'll have things to say about him in a second.
You will.
Melissa Jericho, member for 20 months, the rank of commander, so thank you. I'm disappointed that McDuff didn't make the list. McDuff is cool. I always liked McDuff. Even when I was a kid, I was like, this guy's got to stick around. I like this guy. Oh, wait a minute. He's a bad guy.
He's literally the baddest of the... Yeah, that's fun. That's good. I mean, that's good. Maybe that could be one of the what ifs. Oh. What if he stayed around the entire time? How'd that work?
Well, exactly, yeah. All right, so we'll go to my true number 1, because you guys all guessed wrong, but that's okay. My number 1 for best first officer is Samuel Calkins.
But, well, I have got the 3 pips, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, go on then. Give the reasons. That's part of the game.
He's reliable, dependable, talented, argues with me quite a bit, but yeah, he's always fun to be around as well. Just watched our Birmingham 2-hour extravaganza video, and yeah, he's very dependable, gets things done on time, even though there's projects that are years in the making that I'll probably never see finished, that I was most proud of, but that's okay. Anyway, yeah, so that's Samuel Calkins. There you go.
Cool. And yes, I saw I couldn't watch it at the time because I was in Marie, but on the train back, I accept your apology. Mr. I think you can only see the gratitudeness on retrospect once those personal things have gone.
You can see it in yourself when you watch it back. It's like, ooh, that's cringy.
No, that's what I mean. At the time, you didn't realize you were being grouchy. You couldn't feel it. You were just being it. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do that quite a bit when I'm tired. So.
And boy, but I commend you for letting me say no. We're stopping. We're turning off.
I don't want to die in this car in the rain.
Yeah, because
or the 6th accident on this trip.
I had to get that coffee, and it's like I had to basically be so quietly forceful in my wordage. I'm just like, no, you're doing this, Stuart. I know you don't. You never like stopping, or always like continuing. It's like, no. Bad, Stuart. we're leaving this damn traffic. We're having a break, and it was very useful. And you're like, "There's this sauce."
Anyway, you're talking yourself out of it. So my number 1 is Spock. I was trying to be nice. That's why you were choice 1A.
2B, 3C.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, go.
No, Spock for all the reasons you said. Plus, he's super talented. He can take care of multiple repairs, calculations. He's not human. He's got the extra strength and the special Vulcan abilities. He's a very good person to have by your side as a captain. Very multi-talented and also devoted. The logical thing comes out as a problem occasionally, but like you said, he argues his points very well, and he understands his captain as well. So if I had to pick, it would be tough between Riker and Spock, but I would probably go with Spock just because on an alien planet that has broken ancient alien tech, Spock's going to figure it out. not only figure it out, he's going to translate it, he's going to decipher it, he's going to fix it, and he's going to modify it to what we need. Whereas Riker would look at it and go, it doesn't have tits. I don't know what to do.
Well, no, he'd look at it and then put his leg on it.
Yes, he'd put his leg on it. That's exactly what he would do. Or he'd like swing his leg over top of it. And that didn't work. It didn't fix it. So as good as Riker is, again, I think it's the era though. If I was on a big ship like a Galaxy class, Riker would probably be my first pick, because he handles all the department heads and all that. He does a really good job of dealing with people. He's a people person. Spock's not that kind of first officer. Spock, the structure for TOS was a lot different. Smaller ships, more unknown. So it's a totally different era and a totally different climate in which you're asking for these first officers. So
what? And to double down on that for a second, if Spock was in charge of Enterprise D, he would never be sciencing, and he wouldn't want to deal with people all the time. So he couldn't be second in command. He doesn't fit into that structure.
He would be ops for sure. He's data.
Well, that's what I mean. He wouldn't be second in command then. He wouldn't have time to do the job. He'd literally just couldn't be. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. He'd be third in command in that case, like Data.
Yeah.
Data third in command. So. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the era. But honestly, so Riker and Spock really kind of get shuffled around in my head depending on my mood and the day, kind of thing, for a number one slot. But they both have points, and
no, one of them has points.
Funny. That's good. But they honestly each have something that they bring to the table that's depending on what you require. I mean, yeah, it's tough.
Well, it really should be joint number one if there ever was one. Joint number one. God damn it, it's a joke within a joke. So do you know what my number one is, Stuart?
It's Riker.
It's what's a joke answer I could think of all of a sudden? Don't know. Riker. Oh, briefly, guys. 4 more likes, 13 more dollars, and we are set.
Yes.
Oh, actually,
and last super chat slot, guys. Last super chat slot right now is Eugene, even though Alyssa Jericho put in a member comment. But yeah, last super chat slot, guys.
$13. 13. I'm just opening up to the... And for Eugene, I'm going to say... Oh, is it T'Pol with an A? Or T'Pol? Let me spell T'Pol.
It's T apostrophe P.
Oh, yes, that's right. So I'm doing a poll just for... so yes, who would you vote as number one there? Riker, T'Pol, or Spock? See what you guys think. Vote now. So yes, Riker's my number one. Now, yes, all your reasoning for Spock was justifiable to who's a better officer, but this is a question of who's the best first officer, not best officer. Because Riker's talent is clearly people. And
Kirk says the best first officer in the fleet.
Yes, at the time. We hadn't met Riker yet. But yeah, Riker is clearly born for command, clearly born to lead. Clearly, he whatever job he did when he was younger, he very quickly, because he's not, he was a young-ish officer. He was young officer when he got flagship. He rose to the ranks in that track, got commander much younger than he could have, got the flagship handpicked by Picard, who just got flagship too, with all that pressure that entails. Therefore, meaning he is probably the best first officer in the entire fleet, or at least candidate for first officer. I don't know if he was a first officer. I don't know if he was nicked from somewhere else or was lieutenant commander or something. And he excelled on Enterprise D. He does jobs flawlessly to the point he never talks about it because he does it so well. And he leads well on the bridge, and he takes command when he's on the ship very well, and he makes good decisions all around in general. And he runs the poker night with the crew so that he knows what they're thinking and keeps in charge. He hangs out with them out of hours, so he knows how so he knows his crew's feeling out of hours because he works them so well. His job is to be first officer and then to be command. He doesn't need those other jobs. He's focused on his job And he does it
But like I said,
expertly.
it's a little bit different command structure because it's a different era.
Mm-hmm.
They're not dealing with unknowns necessarily. They're shuttling people back and forth. They're in Federation space. They're pretty safe generally. They're not out on the frontier.
Mm-hmm.
So it's apples and oranges kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm just going in my mind clinically with the notion of the role, because I would associate Spock with being a science officer, not the first officer. He happens to be the first officer, whereas Riker is the first officer, and he does that job. You know, whereas Riker.
He took the assignment like literally, like
100%. Yeah,
definitive first officer.
Yeah, because Spock then goes on to be captain, but not a captain.
Yeah.
Riker goes on to be captain and leads a crew for years and years, etc., etc. So that's what the command track does. He's the first officer who goes into command. Whereas Spock is the other way around. So I just out of the two, yes, Spock much more capable officer, but not a born first. I mean, Riker feels like a born first officer. To the point where yes, he stagnates his own career to keep learning because A, he knows it's a great place to be. B, he wants to get better as the experience to be a better captain, because he could have been captain by season 1. Like literally, he was that ready to be captain at commander, but he wanted to really be a talented captain. He wanted that track to be, boom, I am here, I have arrived, I am ready, I'm serving my job well, and get the experience. So yeah, like I say, by pure technicality, and it was like Kira, like I say, is unfocused. T'Pol has her own things to look for. This guy is super focused, super clear, and also whereas Spock, when I think about it, Spock often got called out when he took command for making decisions people didn't agree with. Riker takes command, fucking, let's go Riker, gung ho, rule with you. Let's save everybody. I'll even kill Picard on your order. Yes sir, yes sir. Like people will follow him. People complain about Spock's decisions to everyone else on the ship, because they don't want his command necessarily. They want his science, but his command. Riker is right there. So yeah, there you go. That's my rationale.
Plus, he's the best pilot on the ship.
He's meant to be a good pilot.
Yeah.
Doesn't really show very much, but that's okay. Yeah. So yeah.
Anybody want that last super chat slot?
Yes, last one.
And one more like. That'd be awesome. Look at the split. 50-50 on the poll.
Yes.
I think we both made good points. Oh.
Absolutely.
37 votes.
Yeah. No, I'm glad this is a good, fun debate. I'm glad
I don't say it's a debate, but I like that you did the definitive first officer thing. I'd never even thought about that. It's kind of going from a personal preference kind of thing.
Yeah, I was going from very sort of technical and yeah.
Textbook example.
Yeah, but I didn't mean debate. I just meant like a chat. We're chatting about the whole thing because we have different orderings, and I love the fact that we have similar curveballs but in different placements, thinking they're both curveballs and yet having similar curveballs. And I just threw in Saru. Well, you threw in Saru as well, but I threw in Burnham just to be, George Kirk, great, but the other made more of an impression in the world of Prime, started a war-ness.
Oh, Prime? No. You know what? See, George Kirk is more Prime than Burnham will ever be, unfortunately, and that's saying something because he's definitely Kelvin. So, what does that tell you?
And a nice enough uniform. I wouldn't mind a Kelvin uniform. They're nice enough. They're not too bad.
Area 51, $2. Sure, I'll take it for now. And then he gets sniped by Matt Boardman with the pew pew pew. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Number 1 snipe. Paul Thomas, £5. Riker for me. I'm a socially anxious introvert, so I need a confident extrovert to deal with people. Yeah. Eugene, 250 rubles. Maybe some words about characters missing on your lists. That's honorable mentions. Not right now. I don't have the time. But we kind of talked a little bit about that earlier. Kind of.
Yeah, we did most of them anyway. The rest are super one-offs to the point where they're like, yes.
There's Data's first officer on the Britannia, or the whatever, who's kind of an asshole. He doesn't like, you know. I don't know.
And like I said, when I first looked at this, I was like, oh, there's actually very few. Huh. Damn. Like I said, Worf is first officer Defiant. Okay, he never does really anything with that to make you feel it.
Yeah.
Maxwell Burke on the Equinox, dickhead in a fun way. Saved his crew, got it killed as well. That's kind of hard. Technically Sylvia Tilly for a bit, but no. Commander Cavett, who died on Voyager, he got 12 lines, died horribly. Pavel Chekhov on the Reliant did a good job. Sure, why not?
Did he though?
Oh yeah.
No, he didn't at all.
You know, I think we all like Commander Flaherty on the Ares. Hats off to you. Christopher Hobson on the Sutherland. Yeah, Stephen Mulland on the Essex. Yep. Tom Nellies on the Antares. Okay. So yeah, there's not much beyond the main couple, which I didn't quite realise. That's okay. But well done to last super chat, which was Eugene. Boom, he just boom. Good job. And we'll see you tomorrow for another fun live, and then Thursday for first reaction, and probably Friday or not for the full review. Thanks guys for tuning in. And good luck with your day, Stuart.
Yes, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Samuel. Did you like my little Samuel Cockings as my favorite number 1?
He's very cute.
You're saying that you're cute, or it was cute that I did that?
Very cute.
He's very cute. That's what I thought you said.
Well, if you want to do the most handsome first officer award, then that may be a whole different debate. Maybe your number 1 will be different at that point. I can have that debate later.
Anyway, on that note, guys, till next time, he is Commander Cockings.
He is
number 1.
Oh, he's Captain Foley. We haven't done best captain yet, so I will not even start that debate. We'll have it at some point. Bye, guys. Say bye, Stuart.